Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Mouse's Pals YouTube channel with me, Daryl, Jamie, and James. How are we doing, fellas?
Good.
Yeah?
Good.
Excellent. We are just on for a very, very quick episode today, sort of a bit of a bonus episode for WandaVision episode 5. This is only going to be posted on the YouTube. So this is no podcast, very special episode. I'll say it now. Spoiler alert for this episode. We'll get it out there. We're at Facebook, YouTube now, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram. We're at everything, and we'll do the handles at the end. How you doing, boys?
Good. Yeah, I'm decent. I'm happy it's the weekend. I'm shattered.
Still got another 4 hours at work.
Oh,
tomorrow morning.
See, I don't mind it because I've got a good weekend. You've got the cricket's back, Super Bowl. I've got a good weekend ahead, actually.
Yeah, I'm off Monday, though, which helps. So, yeah. Right, we might as well crack straight on with what we're discussing today. WandaVision episode 5. We've all watched it. As we said, spoiler alert. And before we discuss, I'm just going to ask for your thoughts on it as a whole. Let's not delve into it just yet. James, I've not heard your thoughts on it yet because you've just watched it. Talk to me.
It was all right.
Right.
His face.
James, shut yourself down. Put yourself on mute. Me and Jamie will discuss.
The thing I will say is, the thing at the end, James didn't understand it as well as me.
He asked me. Just let me say what I think.
Go.
And then you can explain everything after.
Go.
I just don't know what's happening. I don't know. I was thinking, as soon as that guy turned up, I was like, I don't know who that is. I know who it was meant to be, but I was thinking, why is that Aaron guy not actually the actor that's in it? But then they said about it, they've changed the cast, so then I'm confused. I don't understand whether we're supposed to like Wanda or whether she's supposed to be villainous. It's kind of gone back in. I was kind of on the last episode, made me think, right, episode 4. I know kind of following this now because we're outside of the realm, the Hex. We're outside of there, and they're investigating to see what's going on inside. Now, as soon as it goes back inside again, and Vision is kind of starting to realise things ain't right, that's confusing me as well. The kids keep changing age, and that woman not noticing them is confusing me. I don't understand why the dog died. I don't get that either. And then when we go back outside, I'll let you can explain this. One more thing. And then when they come back outside, you've got that bit at the end where she walks out and she mind controls them all. I'm just a little bit confused. I didn't dislike it at all. I just don't know what's happening.
Well, we'll try and explain as best as possible. Obviously, we're not experts and we don't know what's really going on ourselves, but we'll try and explain as much as possible. Jamie, what's your very quick thoughts on the episode?
I loved it. I thought it was really, really good. I thought it was just a solid episode. Before, you had the mix of the sitcom elements and you had the mix of the serious elements. So it took what was good from episodes 1, 2, and 3 and what was really good about episode 4 and put it all together in this episode. So I actually think this is probably my favourite episode so far. The ending is just amazing. I literally was like, who is that? And when I saw who it was, I called it. I told you two that I thought he would turn up. Not this soon, but I'm really happy he has. There's questions I've got. I've got a lot of questions, but a few of the answers are starting to come along. I do agree with James.
You've got questions.
Right. Okay. Let's go this.
One thing is, Wanda could actually be the big bad in this phase of the MCU. That's possible. So we can't write that off right now.
Right. Here's my very quick thoughts on it. Brilliant episode. Probably my favourite episode of the lot. There's a few, I think, more clues in there that are going to set us on the right path. Some are really... It's a mind bender episode. They're trying to put you in a direction that we're not meant to be in, I think, especially with Wanda. I don't believe she's the big bad. I still believe someone is controlling her by something she says in the episode, and I'll come on to it in a bit. James, we're going to play this episode by you, right? You're very confused. You give us something you're confused with, and we'll try and answer it as we go, and we'll go through the episode and try and work it out that way. So if we start at the very beginning of the episode, we go back to a sitcom situation with WandaVision, 2 kids growing up very quick, and Agnes is there as a babysitter. Okay, you're confused with her and why the kids are growing, yes?
Yeah, in a way.
Okay.
I know she didn't notice them going from babies to kids. And I like
again go from toddlers to older. She doesn't really notice either.
And I liked. Don't get me wrong, I liked the style it was filmed in. That it had like a real 80s Neighbours vibe from like the intros. I loved all that sort of side of it. The creativity of the episode is not where I have any what's the word, like problems. It's not even problems. It's just I'm trying to take it in. It's too much thinking. I just want to
watch and know. You've got the brain size of a walnut, so that's really tough. Sorry, mate.
I think obviously the kids are born from her reality at the moment. That's what we know. That from what we know, from what we think we know, it's all on her. Yeah. So the kids are born, but it's because of her she makes those kids. So I believe they've got some sort of her power, right?
So the rumor is that they're going to be Wysan and Speed, who are 2 characters. I don't know much about them, but they're the rumors coming out. Right. The other thing I will say, obviously, that character, I can't remember her name. Agatha, is it?
Agatha.
There is so the rumor is she's Agatha Harkness.
Agnes, isn't it? Agnes, and
there's the rumor she is like the person who oversees and kind of watches over Scarlet Witch in the comics. So that's one rumor.
Agatha is a witch.
Yeah.
That's why I think that she doesn't act like she clocks onto the kids growing up, but it's probably her playing some sort of part in the whole thing. For me, that's my fault in it.
The other thing is Scarlet Witch is just controlling everything. Like we saw it in earlier episodes where she's choosing people to see what she wants them to see. Is that what she's choosing in this episode?
Here's my reason why I don't think she is. When her and Vision at the end are having the argument, and then Vision says, I don't know who I am. I know nothing. And she sits down. She says something along the lines of, I don't know what's happening. Right? It's all leading up to it being her. Yeah, Vision now believes it's her. Other people believe it's her. Yes, she's got something to pay a bit, but I think someone is controlling her.
And the multiverse.
She really has no idea that she's taken Vision's body. Right? Which we found out today, which another episode I listened to, another podcast I listened to, called that spot on. I was like, she's going to just go into Sword and kidnap the body. I don't think she knows that she's done that. I just think she's been put into this place. And she knows of old stuff like Ultron, like her brother and stuff like that, but she doesn't know why she's there.
So this is set like 9 days after the events of Endgame, ain't it? It's pretty soon after. Like this is really, really quick turnaround. Look, so you hear Kat Dennings' character say like, oh, they've just recast Pierre because he's called Peter. No, is he called Peter in the X-Men films?
He's Peter in the X-Men films, isn't it?
Yeah, he's called Peter in the X-Men film, but he's obviously known as Pietro normally.
So do you know who he is, James, at the end?
I know that was meant to be her brother, wasn't it?
Yes.
From Age of Ultron.
That was so. That
was Aaron. Aaron, what's his name? Played him.
Yeah, it's him, but from a different multiverse.
So you've got this is played by what's his name? I'm trying to get his name up. Is it Evan Taylor? I think his name's Evan Taylor. He played him. He played Quicksilver in
First Class.
No, not First Class. Days of Future Past.
Yeah.
Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix. So he plays that. The other thing you got to consider, his
I've not even
father.
seen him.
So he's good films. Days of Future Past. Yeah. So he's obviously brother and sister with Wanda. But you've got to realise in the X-Men universe, his dad is Magneto. So there's the rumour as well coming around that Michael Fassbender could be turning up, or we could be having a new casting of Magneto. There's a few rumours piling around that I think, so they're obviously talking about it's just a recasting. For me, it isn't. This is the multiverse now starting to play out. This is why I think this is linked to the multiverse. They're going to have to explore why these characters are turning up.
This is why it links in with Doctor Strange.
I also think you've got to look back to Spider-Man Far From Home. J.K. Simmons' character, J. Jonah Jameson, why has he turned up? That's a multiverse character, so to speak.
Yeah.
Potentially. This feels like it's really starting to ramp up and build upon. So the first 2 episodes kind of just felt like building the setup, laying the groundwork for the series. 3 was starting to explore a little bit more of it. 4 is explaining everything that's kind of been the Easter eggs. And this is now like, we're now going to look to advance the story. We're really going to dig into it.
I think we're going to get another 30-minute episode next week. Because if you forget the titles, it was about 32 minutes long. And then I think we'll go 40, because there's so many answers need answering still. As you said, like people like, and it's nothing to you, James, people like yourself and like us, because we're still completely in the know. We know nothing. In the dark. They've really got to start explaining what's going on, because at the moment, all it is for me and Jamie is rumours and what we think. We have no idea where this is going. They're playing this so well. Every episode so far has just got better and better and better.
Evan Peters is his name, sorry.
Yeah, that's it. We will... Every episode now will be like this. It will be half sitcom, half real time.
Which is fine. I like the jumps back and forwards to the real time, but I just... There's the thing is when there's such an extended universe, and it's not everyone's going to be like the last X-Men film I think I watched had Halle Berry in it, so I don't know what I don't even know what film that was.
I think that's why, because the last couple of X-Men I've not watched Dark Phoenix or Apocalypse just because I had very bad reviews on them, but I really like Days of Future Past.
I'm going to go back and watch them all. I've got them all on DVD.
I think I have to do now. But again, that will give us no ideas into where this is going, because it's a totally different company.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and that's the thing. So, that's where it that's why I just think the choices of characters to bring back.
That's the perfect one for the setup.
That was the simplest one. That was the easiest
brother, Quicksilver, blah blah blah.
But why not another character just as devil's advocate? Because I have not.
Because it makes the most sense.
But why does it make the most sense?
Because it's her brother.
Because it's her brother.
But why not bring him back? Or
but it's not. We're not bringing him back from the dead. Vision's a cyborg technically, so she's just bringing his robotic self back to life in her own mind, technically.
No one actually knows how he was brought back to life, because without the Mind Stone, that's still a question that needs to be addressed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So she's not bringing anyone human back from the dead.
And you see it from her facial
her actual brother. It's her brother from another thing.
But it was her facial expression. She knew who he was.
Also, what puts me out of it is he didn't just come in to Westview. He got into Westview from outside of Westview. That's what all alarms are going off for. He was the intruder that got into Westview.
The intruder that got in? I thought that was Wanda that broke out.
No, Breach was going in. No one breached out, because we didn't see anyone breach out. He's got to be the only sense is he's breached himself in.
See, I thought it was a breach out. I thought that was Wanda coming to see them. I was going to rewatch it, actually.
Maybe. But at the end, again, if you go right to the end, when Darcy Lewis is looking at Pietro come in, he's still going off, and they're saying it's a breach still. And she's been back in Westview for how long?
Yeah, it's really interesting.
I need to watch the ending again.
Yeah, I do think this is an episode. The one thing I'm gonna say to myself is I'm not expecting all of the answers to come from this series, because they're not going to, because it's not like it's a normal TV series where the last episode is the end. This carries on into Doctor Strange. This carries on into more movies. So not every single answer is going to be handed our way at the end of this season. We're in for it.
The thing I'm gutted with the most already is that we know it's only going to be 9 episodes long. There will not be a season 2.
I don't write off. Actually, yeah, you're probably right, because of the nature.
Because where's the story go?
It's a mini series, really, ain't it? That kind of, instead of doing a movie, they've done this in a TV show to kind of slow. It's a different media. I actually agree with you there. I agree with you.
It's the build up on Disney Plus. They've already got a plethora of movies coming out, so they didn't want to put another movie in. And this is a perfect way to start phase 4.
I have to admit, myself included, phase 4. Yeah. Myself included, I wasn't really excited for WandaVision. I just thought this was going to be like a laugh. I didn't really think it would have many implications in the MCU. I thought we'd have few, but not tons. It's actually been so huge. In reality, it was probably one of the most important things Marvel have done, because you look at it, if people are done with Marvel after the Avengers Endgame, I've got no problem with it, because it was the perfect ending for them. Avengers Endgame was fantastic. If you had all the questions you wanted answered, you had them answered. This is them now going, we need to set up the start of something new.
Phase 4 isn't needed. It's just money in it, really. Let's be honest.
But
it ain't needed.
Let me ask you this, James, all right? You're the owner of Marvel, and you've made all this money from phase 1, 2, and 3. Do you just go, I'm not going to bother anymore, I've made all this money, or do you just start new stories?
But I also kind of, on top of that, they can develop more. It's not like Star Wars, like where they've just got to create new stuff, or like the basis is there. They've got comics. They've got so many characters they can already utilize that have never
This is the thing this is the difference in Marvel and Star Wars. Is you're right. Star Wars, everything we know with Star Wars is built around that one timeline of the Skywalker saga, and they put stories in. A lot of this stuff for Marvel is already done. The stories are done. As I say, we know little rumors of this story of Wanda through comics 15 years ago. We know the House of M plays a part. We know is it Mephisto plays a part. The Devil. We know sort of where it's going to go. It's just where Marvel put it all together. Yeah. But that question to you, James, you sort of give me a face there. You wouldn't. Why wouldn't you? Think of the money they're making. Think of what they've not explored yet. Remember, it's not just one comic we're looking at.
I didn't make that face saying I wouldn't. I'm more thinking because it's different when you've got source material. It's different because if it's there and it's not been exploited yet, then it's there for a reason. They're going to do it. So it's not even that. It's more of the case of. It's probably more of a personal thing. Like I like the fact that you've got the universe that you've already set up until Endgame. And I like more of the idea of them filling in the gaps in the timeline with side stories, like they did with Star Wars, with the Skywalker saga, like filling in these different stories, like they're going to do with Black Widow, for example. And I think that is probably a little bit more at the moment. I think that might be more my cup of tea, but
I still think they'll do that, especially with you've got the setup of the side story of Winter Soldier and Falcon. Again, that is going to be outside of the timeline that you were talking about. That is a side story that he's going to play a part. I think they'll do more stuff with Hawkeye, Captain.
I don't know.
Is Loki going to play a part? Because we know Loki's still around because of obviously what happened in Endgame. But is this going to still have implications on Phase 4? Or
yes. because we know that Loki starts. That Loki really starts when he takes the Tesseract again, or whatever stone it was.
It was the Tesseract.
Does this mean that every character now, then, in all these multiverses, are all being recast?
No.
So why does her brother
Wait,
be recast?
Because that's not her brother.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But from his multiverse,
he's not being recast as
he's just being brought across from another universe.
Yeah, he's just being brought because they've now got X-Men, haven't they? X-Men is now part of Marvel and not Sony.
Yeah.
So they can bring that character across now.
Okay, so just so I'm. So where does the law stop then? So where does it stop from that happening? Like, this is you've got to try and get in my head here that I'm just watching this and I'm just want to know why he isn't Aaron, what's his name? And you've explained that he's from another universe. Right, I get that. So does that mean that if a Vision turned up from another universe, it'd be a different actor? That's what I'm saying.
There isn't another Vision from another universe. Yeah. The thing we're saying is they've proved they can't resurrect dead people. Aaron Taylor Johnson's Quicksilver's dead. He's gone. He's brown bread. But that Quicksilver is still alive in another multiverse.
Yeah, okay, I get that.
It's the same. It's going to be
can bring him across.
It's going to be the same as Spider-Man. They're using all these different Spider-Man stories of different universes, right? So they're not in the same universe. That's what you've got to put into your head. All right, you're thinking, it's all on Earth. It's all just different stories. They're different stories now, but in a totally different universe from the other. So when they bring them all back together, they'll bring Tom Holland,
Andrew Garfield,
yeah, but they'll bring them back together just from different universe. That's what you got to think of Quicksilver. He's in a different Earth to ours. It's just they've opened up this multiverse now that they can come across, and they'll just bring them across.
The best thing I'm going to use, you saw Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, didn't you, James?
Yeah.
It's like that. It's literally, it will be explained how they've been brought here probably later on, because at the moment, all these characters are confused. Like, the thing is, she recognized him. She knew who he was, but everyone's kind of like, how does she know who he was? Like, she knows it as somebody else. These are all questions that are going to be answered.
I don't think she knew who she was.
He knew who
she was meant to be.
That's the thing.
She didn't recognise his face. She knew that in her head, that's my brother.
Yeah.
But she didn't know him as her brother.
That's what makes me think that there is somebody playing a part here. That
this isn't all her, mate. No way. Because she's too big of a character. She's too big an Avenger that people love to make her the big bad.
You could, but in the comics, she was made the big bad. She's got the power to be made the big bad, and on James,
that's all done with House of M, Mephisto, whatever you want to pronounce his name as. It's all done that way. I think she's being controlled somehow. Again,
she is as well. I think and I don't think it'll be answered here. I think this is going to look more into Doctor Strange.
Yeah. Okay, James. Sorry, Jamie. I'll come back to you in a second. So any more questions that you're sort of not sure on? Because we're sort of running 25 minutes in. Don't want to go too.
Not really. I'm just gonna, see how it plans out. And
would you watch it? Will you watch it again to see if you clock on to anything different?
I'll probably, maybe.
If I see,
I'm gonna watch the end to see if I can hear the sirens or whatever.
If I see any articles that explains it a bit more, I'll send them over.
Okay. What I would maybe say is, if you are going to watch it again, maybe wait until all the episodes are out, because you can just binge watch them if you've got any questions. Like, it just means that if you have got questions in maybe episode 8, that you can just go back to episode 5. I just think maybe wait if you're going to rewatch them all, because right now I'm buzzing for next Friday already. There's a lot of stuff. I do think that this is going to lose people. This phase 4 is going to lose a lot of people, because we're going to see more characters than ever right now.
I think it will bring people in like X-Men fans and old Spider-Man fans, because it's going to bring in. Right, you're going to lose your Captain America fans, your Iron Man fans, stuff like that. Are big fans of those films per se, but there's massive X-Men fans out there. Like we don't even know anything of the Eternals and stuff yet. Do you know what I mean?
And we're getting a Fantastic Four movie.
There's massive fans of Fantastic Four. That's like the original comic and that. Massive fans.
Yeah.
That will bring in loads of fans. Because also you think isn't there a Quicksilver in Fantastic Four?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's another.
No. Is it? Oh, there isn't.
Silver Surfer.
Silver Surfer.
Sorry, yeah.
Because that's the other rumor that Galactica is going to be the big bad. Because Galactica is one of the most powerful villains in the whole of the Marvel universe.
Yeah. So we've got an exciting couple of years on our hands here, and especially with. Go on, James. Go on.
So it's the question being, if he's one of the most, where's he been on holiday?
Who?
That's still whatever that is. You said
Galacticus.
Yeah, where's he been?
No, but we don't know if Galacticus is returning yet. We don't know that. Are you talking about Quicksilver?
No, I'm talking about Galacticus. I was just being.
It's the same as any villain. You might not, in a way, might not be at the right time in a storyline. Sort of like, because you could put that in a Star Wars thing. In the first one, you have no idea about Kylo Ren. This Galacticus or Galactico, whatever his name is, he might not be ready for the timeline until 10 years' time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just working that timeline. Again, we have no idea what the timeline is.
We've got so much more stuff.
It's so tough, honestly.
It's all over the place.
It's such a big build up to Doctor Strange.
The thing is, we've got no time with anything Marvel. Literally, we went about a good year and a half with nothing Marvel. And you look at it, we've got WandaVision that's coming out now. I'm trying to get everything up that kind of...
WandaVision now. You got Loki, literally, as this finishes.
Oh, it has a week. It goes March the 5th, WandaVision finishes. Falcon is the 19th of March. That ends at the end of April. Loki's the start of May. And then you... Okay.
And then I believe the third film will be ready to come out.
Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Eternals. So basically, you're looking at something Marvel every 3 months now. You're looking at something being given to you, Marvel, for every 3 months. So it's going to be full on for a good couple of years. James looks so happy, and I'm here like...
Right, we're going to call this episode a day. Again, we've just discussed it as a whole. Are you a bit more intrigued in it now? You sort of understand a bit more, James, or are you still mind-blowing?
I understand what you were saying. I get what you were saying about the multiverse thing. Like, the multiverse thing didn't enter my head until you have all said it. So I understand on your wavelength. I'm kind of on your wavelength now. But I just think it's just different to how I thought they was going to go based on the last episode. So I'm just not going to have my opinion. I'm not going to give
just
my opinion.
Going open-minded, basically.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
I think that's why the series is so good. It just keeps you on your toes a bit. We have no idea. We're just playing spitball and going, I think it could be this. I think it could be this. We have no idea as well.
I'll tell you where it falls a little bit short, and I think it's because I don't think you're supposed. I never know whether you're meant to not know what's going on or whether you are meant to know what's going on, and we just don't know what's going on
because we're not meant to know. That's the whole point. There's Marvel fans out there that will tell you, "Oh, this is definitely happening." Jamie called Quicksilver turning up. Emma called It's All on Wanda. But again, at that point, is it Wanda? Where's
she called. It wasn't that she all thought it was Wanda. No, she thought it was that she thought it was a sitcom and they were acting. That's what she called.
With that, yeah. So they're trying to draw you in with something and then take you in a totally different direction. And I think that's what makes this series so good. We're like, it's this. Yeah.
Well, end of the day, look, I'll persevere with it anyway because I want to watch it all. So I'll see. I'm hoping I understand a bit more by the next episode. But
what I will say is, Falcon and Winter Soldier probably won't be nowhere near as confusing as this. Falcon and Winter Soldier will be a lot more focused about them trying to take down Hydra.
The two things I want from that show is I want it it's a whole other episode. Let's not even talk about that. That's going to go on for ages, isn't it? So yeah. But we'll come to an end then if you want. Finish it. About it.
Call it a day there. Last thing, I loved it, and I'm loving the thing. So I can't wait for next Friday, as Jamie said. We are at the Mouse News Pals on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. Please come and like our Facebook page, comment. Please like and subscribe to the YouTube page. This is something that we're going to do a lot more of. All our podcast episodes will be going on here as well as a video, but we're going to put up special bonus episodes like this for
our YouTube watchers.
Yeah, for our YouTube subscribers, and hopefully this will build up and people start listening to the podcast as well. The next episode, I believe, I've just had confirmation. The next episode will be next Wednesday, 8:30 our time. We will be live on YouTube with a Disney master artist called Kevin John. He'll be coming on with at least the three of us, probably Steve as well, which is going to be a Wednesday. There's a massive, massive event coming up for him at the end of February, which I know nothing about, and he'd like to tell everyone through the Mouse and his pals. So we'll share that. We'll get it out. Please, again, like and subscribe. Kevin John is one of what's the word? Nicest.
One of the most loveliest, down-to-earth people you ever meet.
Yeah, and he's just so he's like energetic in the way he is. We spoke to him about a year ago.
Yeah, he's a decent guy.
It was before the pandemic, so it would have been over a year ago.
Yeah. Since then, he's moved out to California, in the mountains. And if you follow him on Facebook and stuff, it just looks incredible. So I can't wait to speak to KJ next week.
Yeah, it'd be good.
That'll be a banging episode. So we'll be live. It'll probably be a longish one, so I can't wait. So please like and subscribe and follow us, and we'll go from there. Right, cheers, boys. We'll call that a day.
Yeah.
Cheers for joining. See you later, guys.
See you later.
Bye.